Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy evening to join me. I really do appreciate that. I think that the Democratic Socialists of America are about as full of hot air as all of the balloons that come on down on an annual basis every year into the Albuquerque Greater Northwest Valley area in October, you feel me? Shout out to the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, an annual event that happens and absolutely does not benefit anyone here in the local economy and in the local community and in the surrounding local neighborhood. I mean, there was a hospital right down the street from where the International Balloon Fiesta was, and then that hospital went bankrupt, and now it's some law offices. So shout out to the developers out there who approve hundreds of millions of dollars in loans to construct hospitals only so that Lerner and Rowe can end up putting their name on that good old lease. You feel me? You gotta love America. Anyways, oh my God! Like, if that hospital, seriously, that was it was supposed to be a really good hospital, and the idea is that, like, anytime you have a million people or so coming through your hood, sometimes they may or may not, become more accident prone. As is, fact check me on this, but there was like 30 accidents on the interstate highways here just within like an 8-mile distance while the last Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta was going on just a little over a month ago. But so what I say is true, right? I am not just making it up. And as always, I emphatically encourage everyone out there to always look up anything and everything that I'm talking about, right? Because I am, in fact, not a know-it-all, and I'm sure I get some stuff wrong, but the things that I am sure that I get right are important, and I feel like even when they're just my opinions, that's kind of the whole point of this show, in case you didn't notice. But the Democratic Socialists of America or whatever are like, I'm not gonna do it with them, and for the record, okay, like, as a socialist, as a real socialist, I don't want to do the semantics, right? Let's not confuse people, okay? Seriously, let's not pull a whole, organic labeling on what we want to be a third-party political system or a three-party political system here in the United States of America. Like, let's not do that, okay? Let's not let the DSA do the very same things that the Republicans and the Democrats do. And I say that because they're already doing that. So shout out to the Democratic Socialists of America who, like, my question to y'all is, what other kind of socialism is there? Like, I'm laying here in my bed last night, like, absolutely, like, tossing and turning, trying to figure out what the difference is between democratic socialism and socialism, And then I think to myself, well, that sounds like some semantics, It sounds like some nonsense. It sounds, beyond trivial, right? Like, even less meaningful than being trivial, right? Which is not a good thing. But all I'm saying is that, like, don't do that. Like, let's not mud down what socialism can be, right? My friends, socialism is a good thing, okay? And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But don't let people confuse you either. There's a difference, I think. Well, I mean, now I know there's a difference because they aren't socialists, okay? Socialists are not socialists, okay? They are some weird hybrid version of something that's, I mean, I'm trying to, like, make a joke of something, but I can't, because even in places where, like, the animals, grow extra toes and stuff, I actually think that's kind of cool. And there's actually some evidence to suggest that there is rapid evolution when there is a ton of radiation. So all I'm saying is that you should fact check me. Regardless, just wanted to come out and say, guys, that I'm not a fan of the Democratic Socialists of America. I don't think you need to be a fan of the Democratic Socialists of America. And moreover, my name is Albert. I'm a socialist. Dear Democratic Socialists of America, please be more familiar with political ideologies and, like, don't be a part of the problem. You feel me? Because I'm not having it. I'm not having it, okay? There's socialism, and then there's other things, okay? There's no such thing as democratic socialism. There's just not. Socialism is for everyone. Socialism is an opportunity to experience the kind of life that every sentient human being deserves, because you did not choose to be here. You feel me? Like, that was, we live our entire lives, and we have our entire, outlook on what we believe and or perceive our agency to be, whether that's in the fortunate case, right? The most fortunate case can be like free will, right? And the idea that, like, we can live out our lives and so forth in a peaceful way. And, like, it's not wired in us, evolutionary speaking, to be nomadic or, want to be like hunters and gatherers or, whatever the guys is. You feel me? I mean, you live a life, right? You're awake right now. You have some kind of semblance as to what your sentience means, right? And that is important, but that is something that is not unique to you. Okay, it's not unique, and it's not so like rare that only you deserve that opportunity, right? I mean, it is actually a very unique and a very rare thing to experience, the kind of reality that we get to experience. I encourage you guys to look up the odds of you existing. The odds aren't good, my friend. So that's just even more emblematic of, like, if you do find yourself existing and in a place where you can, have agency and impact the world in a positive way and so forth, I think that you should. I think that it's your obligation to be a good and kind person. I think it is something that, is like, everyone should be on that level. You feel me? For example, did you know in Finland that there is no such thing as public and private education? Not since the 60s. And Finland has some of the best educational outcomes in the entire world. All right? So, like, socialism works. Socialism is the only thing that will provide human beings with the opportunity to be their best selves, free of people that, like, just want to make money, you feel me, and, like, live out their fantasies of some very evil things, you feel me. And again, like I said it, I think, in the past video, but I think we all got to realize that in every group of people there are some pieces of shit. You feel me? Like, there's no other way to put that. And I wish that there was, but there's not. And it doesn't necessarily mean that that person, represents an entire group of people. I think that we should, kind of focus in on just, like, knowing that there are some evil people out there, and it's something that we gotta learn how to mitigate that risk, right? And I think that mitigating that risk is not providing an environment where we incentivize bad behavior, right? Because that's why there are such large instances of evil things going on in the world. And I've made this argument before, right? And it's because that kind of behavior is incentivized. So anytime something is incentivized, you bet your ass people are going to do it, right? And that includes doing the right thing. That's a thing that can be incentivized as well, is being a good and decent person, and not, misleading the general public into thinking that you're something other than a Republican or a Democrat, because there is no such thing as a democratic socialist Party, okay? Now, again, I know that's not accurate because, ironically, there is such a thing as a Democratic Socialist of America Party. But I'm not a fan. I'm a socialist. If you guys hear anything at all about politicians that are a member of the DSA party, you know, tell them to find my email and shoot me some words. You know, I don't know. I don't know what to tell them. All I'm saying is that, you know, I'll debate any of them. I don't care. Whatever. I'm done. There's no such thing as democratic socialists, and that's why I'm going to get out of character. Hey guys, I really appreciate y'all watching my video. I'm going to wrap this one up real quick here because the lights are awful in these videos and I think the phone's about to die, but I don't have my contacts in, so I don't know. Anyways, I hope that you guys are well, and I meant everything that I said, you know. The DSA is complete BS, and they are just another extension of an arm that comes from the same body that you know, is working real hard to exploit and literally imprison everyone, you know, whether that be in literal brick and mortar buildings or you know, kind of just in that whole isolated state where there aren't any jobs, and whatever you're told on the mainstream news is also a lie. So I just, it's real hard to navigate this current media, but thank you guys for watching my show. I really appreciate that. If you're not already a subscriber, smash that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out a ton. I know that there were a little under like 4,000 people last week that watched the show, which is really good. And so anyways, you guys have a really good night, and thanks so much again for watching my show, alright? Bye.